All right, before we get into today's episode, I got to give a big shout out to the Rumblers Car Club and the Rumblers Nation for their generous donation. Just to bring this to light, if you are anywhere in New England, Saturday, October 3rd, you should come check out their show, The Rumble in the Country. They put on a show out in Terryville, Connecticut. You can pre-register at rumblersnomads@yahoo.com. For more information, hit up that email, and they will get you situated. Also want to thank Manscaped and manscaped.com for being a sponsor. If you're not familiar with Manscaped, they make a whole line of men's genital health products. And by that, I mean ball razors and ball products. So you want to check out for sure the Lawnmower 3.0. It's the most advanced, backed by science and research development ball razor there on the market. Has these special ceramic blades that prevent any nicks, cuts, or scratches in the areas where you definitely don't want any nicks, cuts, or scratches. Worst thing you can do is take a beard trimmer down there and look at your hand and see a little blood from some ball sack blood. Definitely something you want to avoid, so check them out. Lawnmower 3.0. They also have a whole line of other ball health stuff, like whether it's ball toner or like anti-chafing cream and shit like that. Check them out, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout and you will get 20% off your order and free shipping. They also have these like promo packages right now where it's the Lawnmower 3.0 and a couple other products, and it's at a discounted rate if you buy this this package deal. This promo code even will take 20% off the already discounted price. So make sure you use promo code BIGTRUTH at checkout, manscaped.com. You also want to check out amertamia.com, my friend's clothing company. They make all kinds of shit, whether it's hats, t-shirts, jackets, gloves. They do screen prints. They do pomades. They got all kinds of shit. All geared towards old-fashioned ethics, honor, loyalty, respect, gentleman's code, street respect, keeping your mouth shut, doing the right thing. So check them out, amertamia.com, and on all the social media, simply at Amertamia. Again, if you use the code BIGTRUTH at checkout for Amertamia, you will also get 20% off your order there. So we will save you money anywhere we can. And while you're at that, check out pitchforkny.com. Again, it's Pitchfork New York Hardware, pitchforkny.com. My boy Warren's label and clothing company. They've been a mainstay staple in the punk rock, hardcore, and metal scene for years. You've probably seen a bunch of the artists that you like probably wearing that shit, rocking that gear. Check them out, pitchforkny.com, on Instagram at pitchforkny. And Chop Cult. Chop Cults. If you are unfamiliar with Chop Cult and you're into motorcycles, you're missing out on so much, because they are the probably the biggest information clearinghouse on motorcycle related stuff. They have online message boards geared towards every topic, whether it's American motorcycles, British motorcycles, choppers, tech related stuff. They have events pages. They have mailing lists. They have newsletters. They have an online kind of swap meet sale, like where you can buy, sell, trade, barter for parts. Check them out at www.chopcult.com. Membership is 100% absolutely fucking free, so it costs you big nothing to get on there. So get in there, contribute, and reap the rewards of this online community. Also, you can check them out on all the social medias, simply at Chop Cult. And www.chopahead.com is the website for my shop. We're a brick and mortar shop. So you come in, if you're anywhere in New England, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts, 508-995-6764 is the number. You need oil change, or you need a full custom chopper built. We handle everything in-house. We do speed work. We do fabrication, customizing, fucking, you do bar swaps. You need tires, anything you need for your motorcycle, we do. We are geared more towards the American market. So, we do some stuff for other bikes, but we are mostly a Harley Davidson shop now. But if you go online, we got all kinds of products. We got our line of Defender gloves. I'm just waiting with this COVID shit, full honesty, full disclosure. I've been waiting on a shipment of Kevlar so we can get some more gloves made. I have limited sizes, but I'll have a bunch more in the next couple weeks. You can grab some shop swag. You can get some parts, whatever. If there's something you need, and like for example, if you live in California, you can't get exhaust pipes or tuners or some carburetors or some shit, give me a call. Maybe we can do something for you. We ship anywhere, and we carry pretty much everything. I don't have all the shit on the site, so if there's something you need and you don't it's not there, give us a call, shoot us an email, truth@chopahead.com. Come in the shop. We got a full parts counter. We got a showroom. We got all the riding gear you need, helmets from Simpson, Biltwell, Bell, we carry Chopperhead and Grifter gloves, we got fucking hoodies, whatever, man. We got Kevlar flannels, whatever you need, man. Riding shit, we got it. www.chopperhead.com, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. And last but not least, check out bigtruthpodcast.com if you want more information on the show. And I am always up for hearing from you. If you got show ideas, if there's some things you want to, think could be improved, there's some things you like, whatever, man, feel free to contribute. You can email bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com. We got a thing on the site where you can email from there. All the episodes are up there. But wherever you get your podcast, please subscribe. Leave some feedback, leave a rating. That helps immensely. And without further ado, let's get into this shit today.
The Big Truth Podcast. Laying down the hatches! Get ready!
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes. Once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for listening to another episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And I am here with my old friend, Jeff Holt. You might know him from V-Twin Visionary, or you might know him from back in the day as the editor of Street Chopper and Hot Bike and titles like that. But without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to my bud, Jeff. What's happening, man?
Hey man, how are you? How you been, dude? How's life on the East Coast?
We're in that time of year where, one day it's like 95 degrees and like 100% humidity. And then the next day it's like 65 with no humidity. And then at night, we're in that that schizophrenic time of year where you're in a t-shirt during the day. And then like, if you're riding at night, you got to put on a flannel and a jacket or some shit, but everything's good. And we're trying to get through all this fucking COVID and government response to COVID bullshit and whatnot. And, it is what it is, man. We're adapting to the new normal, quote unquote,
the new non-normal.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even need to get into that, man. It's such a fucking bag of shit, dude. But it's like, dude. And the thing is it's just, even this is why it aggravates me. Like the response to everything has been so ridiculous and stupid and inept. Like even now that the CDC is downgrading things and saying the rates are down and that, like none of that's getting publicized. And it's like, and it's like, why? Because it's not scaring people. Like,
every time you hear on the TV, it's this many people died and this many people survived, but this many, and it's like a simple math equation, but yet they're always like, or more.
Yeah. And then
it's like, no, it's a simple math equation. This many people survived, this many people died, and that's the people left over.
Yeah, and the numbers that they had were even grossly inflated because of the weird stuff that was going on with hospitals and not good testing and hospitals going broke. Yeah, so everyone had COVID so that they could get government money. But whatever.
Everybody's trying to get theirs, man.
Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, it's one of those things where, there is something. I'm glad that the virus, wasn't worse than there's a lot worse shit out there that we could have got that really would have fucked us all up. So
Definitely, man.
and it's not downplaying or disrespecting anyone that got sick or died or got severely injured with this. I mean, but as I say, that's such a small amount of people that it's not. I don't know. I can't see how shutting down the whole country's been justified in any way, shape, or form. But
crazy,
I mean, that's just me, and I would love to hear. And when you look and you try and see people's reasoning and stuff, like, no one's convinced me otherwise yet. Like, I'm definitely open. I'm not like a staunch, staunch in my beliefs. Like, if someone can come up with a compelling reason why things should have been done the way they've been done, like, then, I'd love to hear it. I just haven't seen it yet from anybody.
No, I think it was in full freak out panic mode. There's people that are highly susceptible to this and can and will die from it. But large in part, most people aren't.
Yep.
And I mean, it's just a matter of, do you want to go live your daily life or do you want to stay shut in? And there's people, like my father's almost 80, he's got COPD and, he's got, other health issues. So yeah, that dude's got a target on his back for the COVID, right?
Yeah.
But, I've been across the United States, 5 times since March. And I've, knock on wood, I still practice social distancing and hand washing and wearing a mask when I'm supposed to, but it's just a very strange time.
Yeah, man, absolutely, and to me, social distancing, and washing my hands was never really an issue. So
I agree entirely, man. You know how we did it.
Yeah. I can't believe that's a new thing for people, but apparently it is. But the mask thing is a weird thing. But yeah, whatever. Like, enough of this shit. Let's not harp on this. Like, fucking, let's talk about cool shit like motorcycles and whatnot. So
yeah.
I know you've recently had I don't know how recent, but I know you've left the California area. Probably good that you got out of there before the COVID shit. Like, when did you move over there, and where'd you touch down?
All last year, I was kind of 50-50ing it, coming back and forth, and dealing with a couple of friends that have businesses. I was helping them set their businesses up and kind of helping them hire the right people to run their businesses out here. And it just became, I just dreaded going back to California more and more and more. And so I finally got to talk my girlfriend Maggie into moving out full time. I don't know, about 4 months ago.
Nice.
It's been good. We live right downtown Phoenix, and it's close to where the shop is and everything else. So it's been really cool.
Yeah. So how are you liking Phoenix? Have you said about 4 months ago?
Yeah.
So you've been through a whole summer there.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, luckily I've been moving around, and the hottest months of the year are like July and August and some of September.
Yeah.
So I'm usually like at Sturgis for half the month of August and here and there during those times of the year. So it's not bad for me, so to speak. But I mean, bottom line is you go from your air conditioned house to your air conditioned car to your air conditioned job.
Yeah, man. I know. I remember. I lived in Tucson for a year, and I lived in Flagstaff for a couple years in the mid '90s, and I love Arizona, man. It's a fucking great place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And back then, and I'm sure it still is now. I go back and visit pretty regularly. I got a bunch of people in Tucson that are near and dear to me that I go out to see all the time. What I like about Arizona is that it's still kind of Wild Westy, especially when you get more south.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's still like
definitely
it has an old school element to it, and a little more freedom. But then there's always trade offs. Everyone I know there has a DUI, as compared to everyone else.
Right.
It's like fucking.
Yeah,
that's such a weird industry in Arizona. Is like the whole DUI thing.
It's funny, the whole alcohol enforcement thing here is pretty gnarly.
But you can ride around on your bike with an AR-15 or a shotgun or whatever you want on your back, and no one even blinks an eye. That's the beauty.
Dude, I have a mini Draco in my saddlebag and my bag, or like at all times.
Yeah,
like it's the craziest shit.
Yeah,
and in California, I'd be getting 50 years in federal penitentiary for the same gun.
Yeah, it's and that's weird thing about state laws, versus federal stuff like that. states can vary so widely and crazily, and the thing is out there, you got big states like here in New England, like Rhode Island and Massachusetts have totally different laws and don't recognize each other's laws. And there's parts of Massachusetts that I got to go through Rhode Island to get into Massachusetts to get, it's just weird shit. You know what I mean? Like our states are the size of like counties out there, so,
right.
But so let me.
It's funny though.
What's that?
It's funny, like literally driving across the California border into Arizona when I was moving. It was like, oh my god, a weight is lifted. Like I had guns that are so highly illegal in California, and they're I can literally walk around with them in Arizona.
Yeah, and if you got them in your truck with you or your car with you, you just put it on the dashboard, and that's where it should stay. Yep. Like you get in trouble if you have it anywhere else other than visible.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Freedomville.
Well, man, here's the thing: is like I've always wanted to buy property back out there, I keep going back and forth between there and Maine. So just make sure the right Californians get out to Arizona, not the ones that are gonna go fuck it all up. You know what I mean? I'm putting you in charge of that. I'm putting you in charge of that.
I am definitely in charge of it, dude. I'm definitely in charge of it.
You're in charge of California.
They always tell me, "Don't California my Arizona," and I was like, "Hey, man, that's why I moved out here."
Yeah. It's funny too, because the same shit happens up here. Like, there's this all these people from Massachusetts move to places like New Hampshire or Maine or whatever to get away from the high taxes and all the craziness. And then once they get there, they try and put all that shit through to make those states more like Massachusetts. It's like, you don't see that. You're the fucking problem. Like, and it's,
it's so stupid, dude.
Yeah, it's to the point where like Northern Maine wants to break off from Southern Maine and just give Southern Maine to Massachusetts. It's like, we laugh, but there's this real like concerted effort to put that through by some people. So it's just a funny thing, man. But so how have you been adjusting to the move, and how are you digging Arizona overall so far?
It's been good, the move, being able to move to the shop over here with, some pretty big players in the performance V-twin market has been really cool. Dudes that are hands on, whether they're fabricating stuff like, Big Chris at FXR Division or Justin at Torch, or even on our side of the building doing stuff with Danny Wilson, Motor Witch, and Ray Kushner, who came from 26 years at a Harley dealership. It's been pretty cool and eye opening to see that stuff work in real time.
Yeah, man. And so tell everyone a little bit about the shop situation you got going over there. I know you call it the collective, and you kind of gave like a high end run. You gave like a high run over of it, but tell everybody a little bit more about that might not be familiar what you guys are doing over there, because it's a pretty fucking cool idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, we're all independent entities that are all together in kind of this really cool building that used to be a printing press business in like the 50s and 60s in downtown Phoenix in the Arts District. So the shop is really cool looking, but the main thing is just the people that are in here collectively. Like, I came out to run my dyno. I bought a dyno in California, and as you know, anybody knows anything about California, there's issues with getting legal exhausts, legal cams even, and intakes and things like that. And I was just tired of it. So I brought my dyno out to this building, and pretty much I only do my dyno testing on the products that I review and test. And then Danny Wilson, he builds motors, so he uses it to dyno test the motors and break them in. And then, so, it's part motorcycle shop, part manufacturing facility, and part test area for V-twin Visionaries. So it is really all over the place. But we have, like I said, we've got core people here doing great things, and literally, it's a full machine shop, full welding facility. The only thing we really don't have under this roof is paint and chrome.
Yeah. Well, and chrome's I don't know about in Arizona. I think it's a little looser out there, but chrome's a tough business in this day and age, man, because of just all the environmental restrictions and whatnot. I can't even imagine trying to open a chrome shop or a plating shop right now, man. Like, what would be involved in that? You'd have to have like fucking millions of dollars in the bank to like even afford to do that, man. And
To even fight the EPA and everything else and get
Oh,
zoning correctly and everything. I mean, most people in California would send their stuff to Mexico.
yeah,
And I think there are some shops in Arizona that do good chroming that we've used in the past, but chrome isn't even all that much. It's more polishing, powder coating, and real paint. So
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. So that's like such a fucking rad idea, like, because everyone's got their own business, but all the businesses kind of you could have one guy bring a bike in and need to touch all those businesses for one reason or another. So it's like a pretty cool fucking situation there, you know.
it really happens that way, and it kind of just happened as Big Chris and the crew at FX Art Division kind of wanted Danny to stop his day job at the Harley dealer and come here and just work on a lot of their project bikes and do motor builds and hang their handlebars on bikes. And then it kind of stretched out from there once everybody in the valley here in Phoenix knew that Danny Wilson was no longer at a Harley dealership. And, at the same time, Ray moved from California here. He was at Bartell's, like I said, for over 20 years. And that guy knows the business back and forth, So, I mean, it's a really good combination seeing those guys work in the shop. I mean, the downside is everybody here is an alpha male. So
yeah.
there's no top dog. So some days are pretty gnarly around here, and other days are great. But all in all, it's been fun so far.
Especially in that August heat, man. Everyone's getting aggro. Yeah. Well,
for sure, dude.
I would love to.
Luckily we have a brewery next door. We share a parking lot with it, so everybody can go over there and get a beer and relax, and
even
come
better.
back here and get the job done. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's like fucking Shangri-La, dude. That's perfect setup.
Yeah, it really is, man. A good pizza place right around the corner and everything. So.
Yeah. So does that brewery have Bloody Marys?
No, they do micheladas though, which is good by me.
Okay, because I know that you're like a Bloody Mary aficionado with like the crazier, the more shit on it, the better for you.
Yeah, man, I literally have traveled the country finding the best spots. It's pretty crazy, dude. And I still am on the hunt, and places pop up all the time. So
I know.
I'm definitely hitting the whole Phoenix Valley trying to find the best ones here during Sunday football now, since that just started.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, there's some that you post that in the past that have made me laugh. Like they got like fucking sliders on them and like fucking, fucking. It's whole like a chicken. Meal. It's like a whole meal, dude. Yeah. If you're ever in Tucson, you should check out May's Counter or May's Kitchen or something like that. They got they got chicken and waffles, and they got really good Bloody Marys with like bacon infused ones and whatnot. I just
I'm down, dude.
Yeah, you'll dig it. You'll dig it.
I need to ride out there now. The weather's getting better.
Oh, absolutely,
just
man.
For the day.
Yeah, I got a bunch of dudes out there I can have show you around and whatnot, and you'll have a good time.
I love it.
Tucson's a fucking awesome town.
Oh yeah, dude.
But yeah, man, and it's cool like out there because you're in another state where there's like pretty much 4 seasons of riding, So like there's always
great, man.
And there's a big motorcycle scene and culture out there. So
it's huge, dude. It's been infused for years, since the 60s and 70s, like. You still see old bikers out here, like, just doing it because they're lifers. In California, everybody, once you get old, you're like, fuck the traffic and fuck this and fuck that, and you get out the game. But here, dude, there's dudes with skinny ass, 80-year-old biker dudes who barely hold the shovel head up, like just kicking it over in the parking lot of Circle K, after you gas.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Legit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's like they probably don't even have a car because they don't need it. You know what I mean? And it's it's just crazy. The only thing you got to watch out for out there is a monsoon season. I don't know if Phoenix gets it as bad as Tucson, but it gets fucking bananas out there with that shit.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. We're right in the midst of it. We've only, Maggie, my girlfriend, and I have only bared witness to one of them, and it was pretty crazy. She was super excited.
Yeah.
So
see the sideways lightning and shit, where lightning just shoots sideways across the whole sky and whatnot.
And the dry lightning too. It's not even raining. You just see thunder and rain, and you're like, "Where the fuck's the rain? It's nowhere." That's the craziest shit I ever seen.
I know it's a weird fucking climate out there. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, for real.
So is Chris over at FXR Division? Is he doing crazy shit over there like he did when he had the chopper shop, like with the gun range in the basement and alligators and shit walking around?
No, he's keeping it pretty quick back lately, man. We got a fire station on at the end of the street, and there's always, it being a downtown area, man. There's always 3 or 4 law enforcement units going up and down our street. So we keep it pretty mellow now. Plus, we're all getting a little older and a bit more wiser.
Yeah. No, I get it. But dude, something that you said, is it was just funny to me, like when you said, we're a bunch of alpha males here, and I was like, yeah, man, and that's what you expect with bike shit. But you know what? In 2020, and this isn't any disrespect to anybody, but like, it ain't like that anymore, man. There's a lot of fucking weird fucking cats involved in bikes now. It's like a weird scene, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
super cool, man. It's weird and cool, and like in all aspects. Like, you're like, that guy, he. You see like this crazy emo looking kid, dude. Yeah. And next thing you know, he's like a wonder motor builder. Like, kid's like, I only build Evos, and he's got 17 of them at his house, and like, you're like, dude, I thought you'd be playing dress up instead of doing this. And I think it's pretty cool. I think being a motorcycle aficionado or whatever you want to call it is definitely kind of falls on all people now, and you can kind of be whoever you want,
Yeah, no, it's like like society in general has kind of calmed down on a lot of weird shit, like where people don't get fucked with as much anymore. I think, like, just in general,
Yeah, I think so. People are more we're all polarized in this time, this year, but I think, there's a lot more people have a lot more leniency towards what people want to do with their own lives and compassion for what they want to do with their own lives, rather than, that guy sucks because he's not the same as me, or he doesn't wear the same shit I do, or he doesn't listen to the bands I do. Whereas, as you and I both know, back in the day, like, it was straight get your head stomped in if you weren't, in the rank and file of being whatever your group was.
Yeah, man. And I remember, out here, I know it's probably different, but like, just getting into bikes, in the late 90s or whatever was when I first started getting into bikes. Like, there wasn't a lot of like hardcore kids or whatnot involved in motorcycles yet. And like later on, that just became, more almost par for the course. But it was like weird because like I get into it and I was just hanging out with all the graybeards, and you know what I mean? And like they were like, what the fuck are you listening to? Or this and that, you know what I mean? And like and there wasn't the influence of like the punk rock or hardcore skater stuff getting into the bike shit.
No,
to the extent it is now, and
yeah, and I mean definitely not on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's like you look at everybody running shit, and they're all fucking ex-punk rock, older punk rock dudes, or like you said, hardcore kids or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's just how it shook out. And I mean, that's, but living that life as a youngster, and what are you going to do when you get older? Like, you get a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah. I always say it was like the most logical progression. It was just funny getting into the motorcycle scene when I did, when there wasn't a lot of that. The older dudes didn't know what to make you, but they thought it was cool. Like, like, oh, they were just stoked any young dude was kind of getting into shit,
Agreed, man. It's funny how it's all transformed into being now, you and I are kind of the older dudes teaching the younger dudes what's up.
I know, and I try not to think of that because I still think, because we live kind of Peter Pan lives, dude. You know what I mean? Like, like I own a motorcycle shop and a tattoo shop, and and that's where I go every day, and so I don't feel like I'm my age. I still think I'm like 25.
Oh, hell no,
you know what I mean? And so, so when someone's
like,
oh no, you're the older dude, you're showing dudes around, and I'm like, nah, dude, I'm still the fucking young idiot. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I feel the same way, dude. I'm 51 now, homeboy, and it's like, I look at, all the dudes I look up to are, 60, 70 years old, dude, and they're like the first wave of like Orange County punk rock dudes, and a lot of them are dying off and
I know,
not around, and like, the last couple of years been tough on us, LA and Orange County punk rock dudes.
Yeah, man. And dude, not just there, everywhere, man. People are dropping left and right. It's fucking crazy, man. Like,
well, you live that life for so long, dog. It's gonna catch up.
Yeah, and then there's some motherfuckers that'll fucking they'll never die, it seems like, but no matter what they'd fucking do. But then I don't know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I love it.
Environment and genetics, fucking all kinds of shit factor into fucking how shit goes.
Being able to just being able, I mean, I think you're going to live longer if you're working for yourself and doing it for yourself. And fuck, dude, I got a thing now. Like when I moved here, I don't have an alarm clock, dude, and and my phone's set to private or whatever you call it, do not disturb till 10 a.m., dude. And I'll sleep in.
Yeah.
Some mornings I go up at 4, other mornings I'm gonna get up till 10, and I'm like, that's how I'm living my life now.
That's
like
good,
for
man.
me, not how I don't have a lot of money in the bank, whatever, but for me, that's like a sign of success.
Yeah, man.
Being able to do that is fucking a key thing in my life. It's a little reward that I get because when I was editor of Popeye and Street Chopper and Baggers, and when I was the editorial director of all three of them at the same time, dude, like I was first one there. I was there at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd stay till 6 or 7 at night. And all that got me after 11 years was fired.
Yeah. Well, the good thing though is that I know it sucks like that, but you know what? The magazine industry is so fucking bananas and crazy. I was talking about that with Dave, Chopper Dave. Like, it's sad, man. Because I love physical magazines, but it's just done. It's gone. Like, you know what I mean? Except
there's nothing.
Except for
like not much you can do.
Yeah, on that level, like that Street Chopper or like the Horse, or Chris is still rocking it with Cycle Source, and which is fucking cool.
Which is cool, man. I'm super stoked, and he gets a ton of my support and respect for keeping that going. But that's a cottage business that he's doing. Him and Heather bang that out, he's really transforming his business into doing a lot of live stuff. At Sturgis, he walked me into his Sprinter van, dude, and it's literally like a live casting studio now. Like he could pull up and like live cast a motherfucking football game for college. It remind me of like the first ESPN trucks and Monday Night Football trucks. When we were kids, and I was like, this shit's bad, dude. Like. It's cool to see that that's how he's taking his business, and he's cognizant that the paper is not going to last, but he's, whereas before a lot of people were like, no, it's going to be forever. No, we have our niche and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, even I was kind of brainwashed into that, but shit, man, it don't work that way.
Sure. Yeah. And, I think that's a testament to him being so, because it's his, it's not a corporate entity that's making decisions just based on money. It's like, that's his business, and, he has a love and a passion for it. So he's just kind of adapting to the game so that he can keep his thing going. Whereas,
Agreed.
Some of these corporate places are just going to be like, oh, this isn't making enough profit, so we just axe it, and then, and that's what sucks, Well,
yeah, I mean, especially when, you of all people know that this fucking game is a labor of love, first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to make, you make enough money to pay rent and eat food and maybe travel a little bit, but like none of us are going to be millionaires off this shit, No, not anymore.
Some guys got lucky and rode the first wave of like the with all the TV shit and stuff when it was still a viable thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it is absolutely a labor of love. And as soon as you started talking, I got jealous because I was like, I did the dumb model where I actually opened up like a brick and mortar shop, like where we have like we have the like a showroom and a parts counter and all that. So I got to be here in the morning. I'm like, fuck.
Right.
I pine for the days when we just had like a little fabrication shop and we built bikes and just shipped them around, and it's like,
right.
Cause you can just shut the door whenever, go for a ride and fucking, no one cares. And it's like, if I shut the door and, and someone comes and they need a part or something, they get all bummed out, or it's like, oh man.
Well, yeah. You don't make no money that day.
Yeah. And you gotta make sure you keep regular hours, or people are like, oh, fuck that. They're never open, and it's like,
Agreed.
But
people get pissy, dude.
But yeah, man. But it's like I said, labor of love, man. That's 100%.
Yeah, man.
Especially in especially in the East Coast and the Northeast in New England, you don't get into this. This 3 or 4 months that really are fucking slow and horrible. You know what I mean? Like you don't get into this because you think you're gonna get fucking rich. That's for sure.
No, for sure not, dude. I mean, then what's cool is you have the tattoo shop too. How's that been?
Good, man. I don't tattoo, but I do laser removal, and
Yeah.
me and one of my best friends in sixth grade own the shop together, and one of my best friends in the world, Dan, works there with us. So we got two artists. We got and my friend Ryan, who I own the shop with, his girlfriend does microblading out of there. I do laser removal,
Oh,
so it's kind of
cool.
like an all stop, like an all purpose shop.
You're on all fronts, man. That's super dope. That's
Yeah.
like, get one removed and get another one slapped on the next month.
Well, that's what it is, man. A lot of people just have old stuff they want to lighten up to get new shit over it, and so we can offer. You get it lightened up, you have a lot more alternatives and a lot more choices of what you can.
Oh
put
yeah,
over it, man.
for
'Cause
sure.
you know
man.
about like real estate, and like something.
Oh, trust me, I'm almost out. I need to start lightening some shit up. All
Yeah.
that 80 shit I have on my upper arms needs to be weighed.
Yo, absolutely, man. So why don't the beauty of a podcast is we can get into some shit like you're a mainstay in the motorcycle and in the chopper world, where people know you from, whether it's like your time doing editing or V-Twin Visionary or just being out and about, man, because you hit all the major shows a lot of times and you're out and about. Get a little into your past and how you even found your way here. I know you were involved with music and whatnot, and then kind of just give a little bit of your background and how you got into all this shit.
It kind of all started with BMX. I was a BMX kid. I never really could skateboard all that good. I was proficient, but once all my friends started getting really good, I was like, man, I'm gonna switch over to bicycles. And then that actually happened when I started racing bicycles. All my group of friends, either they got out of it or they became single A or double A pros. And I figured out early on, like when I was 16, 17, that I could fix their bikes better than I could race those guys. So, I got into the business of working at a bicycle shop, which was also a skateboard shop at the time, because as you know, they were usually all the same. And when I was like 18 and a half or 19, I bought my first Harley. It was 76 Shovelhead. And I was working on her in the back of the bicycle shop. And then I kind of got out of working at the bike shop and I moved to Portland, Oregon, and was in the business of marketing and doing PR for assorted BMX and mountain bike companies. And a friend of a friend saw that I could take photos of bicycles, and I could write about bicycles and put together catalogs and brochures and press releases. And he saw a couple of the bikes I built, and he was like, "Hey man, like," he's the editorial director of Hot Bike and Hot Rod Bikes at the time and Street Chopper, and he's like, "Hey man, we need some help around here as like associate editor." And I kind of blew it off at first. And then I ended up having a kid, and then I saw the beer of the party again. He's like, "Hey man, that position's not filled yet." And I was like, "Oh man." And I was like, "Well, what's the health insurance all about?" Because I didn't have any real health insurance, So, and I had a kid and an old lady, so I was like, "Oh shit." And then he's like, "That's really good." So I was like, "All right, I'll be in on Monday." And then I took the job. And then of course that was in October. And then by the time next year rolled around, the insurance was shitty, but I was already hooked. I was testing motorcycle parts and being on the road, riding motorcycles. And back in the day, the editor of a motorcycle magazine, that's some rock star shit,
Yeah.
You go to Sturgis and get treated really well. And, even if people didn't know you, they knew what they could do or what you could do for them, editorial wise. So it was a lot of fun, man. And fast forward, a bunch of great years and being able to come up from an associate editor to having the top spot and running 3 magazines and 3 websites and all the social media, outlets for all those. It was I had like 50 people underneath me, and it was crazy, man. And we were plugging along, and then, they took a left when I took a right, and then I started V-Twin Visionary. I pretty much, took a 6 or 8 weeks off and decided what I wanted to do with my life. There was a few companies in the industry that were hitting me up to be their head of marketing and shit like that. But then I was like, man, I'd have to move, and then I'd really have to, be in an office. And, I really wasn't, because we weren't doing much of the print magazine at the end. So I was out of the office a lot, on the road, doing all that stuff. So I wanted to keep that going, and I kind of wanted to keep the flame alive of because I knew they were going to kill those magazines. within a year. And, I even, my cocky ass told them when I was walking out of the building, this fucking shit ain't going to last a year without me. And they only lasted 8 months. But then I really wanted to keep the drive I had and the friendships I had in the industry and my reputation in the industry good. So I decided to just start Between Visionary with a partner of mine, a guy named Dave Rowe. He runs all the back end stuff. He pays all the taxes and does all the ordering and all of our advertising on the website and social media. He takes care of all that and just allows me to do product stuff and travel and do our bike show series this year that we did with Harley Davidson and doing all these crazy stupid rides that we've done across the United States this year during the COVID. And it's it's been a lot of fun trying. It's only the brand Between Visionary is only 2.5 years old, and it's funny, a lot of people talk to me, and when I tell them, they're like, man, it hasn't been around longer than that. So, I mean, I think that, my partner Dave and I have been doing a good job of spreading the word and keeping it real and doing what we have. So, I mean, and then now with the collective opening and having my stuff here, it's a tangible place where anybody can come out and see the bikes that we've built for Between Visionary and what we're doing and testing and seeing. And, my master plan with this dyno is we're going to do a thing called Tales from the Dyno, where I bought a brand new Harley Bagger, and it's only going to be. I feel bad for the bike because it's pretty much going to live its whole life on the dyno.
Yeah.
We're gonna get in like 25 air cleaners. We're gonna see which one's the best on a stock motor with stock pipes. Then we're gonna do pipes and see which best with stock, and then we'll do cams, and then we'll do this and that. So I mean, the poor bike's gonna have 20 different cams in it, and 12 different exhausts and 12 different 2-in-1 exhausts. So I mean, but people will be able to go online and on betweenvisionary.com, and there'll be a graph where they get real numbers, where the head temperature is the same, the booth is climate controlled. So it's a pretty cool thing, and people will be able to get real numbers.
Sure.
Nothing that's swayed by a company. Company can say their shit makes all the horsepower in the world, but as we know, that's company jargon. So it'll be like an independent testing area. Whatever you want to call it, like consumer reports or whatever on what parts make horsepower with Milwaukee 8 motor.
Nice, man. Yeah, the proving grounds, right? It's not like
exactly.
It's like you said, it's not a marketing backed stat. It's real stats on an independent thing. So I think that's important, man, and I think that's going to be something that is going to be a good resource, especially with the new M8 stuff going on, because it's only been around for a couple of years. So there's not a lot of, nothing's tried and true yet, it's evolving and
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are finally going to the new Softail platform or the new M8 bagger platform over, a dyno, an older bagger or something like that. It's exciting to see, man,
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard, because, I'm old chopper guy, right? And it's like when I test ride a customer bike that's an M8, I'm like, holy shit, this fucking thing fucking hauls, you know what I mean? And we did one for our buddy Kyle where we put one of those Trask turbos on it and cams and all this stuff, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, man, how much power do you really need? And
shit's like 300 horsepower.
Oh, it's fucking retarded, man. I was leaving because bane of my existence is when you still have to do things and like have like a password learn or something, and you have to go to Harley for it. And I was riding back from Harley, and I'm so used to like the stuff I ride, and so I'm just blah blah, just feel like I'm cruising. I looked down, I was doing 110. I really thought I was doing like 75, 80. You know what I mean? I did not. You don't even feel you're doing that fast, man. It's fucking nuts.
They're so well engineered now. I mean, I hated baggers, dude. I'd have to buy one every couple of years, and I fucking hated them, dude. And this year I bought one and rode it across country, and I love the thing now. I mean, and then the new Softail chassis, dude, when I told everybody in 2018 that they're far superior than any Dyno FXR, I got death threats, man. That shit was like, I was one of the first people to tell everybody how good it was independently, and dudes were like, fuck you, my Dyno's way better, and nah. I was like, look, dude, I have 5 Dynas and 3 FXRs. Like, I fucking know what's up, and like, like, I'm sorry that me being able to test ride every single brand new bike from Harley in the past 15 years, I'm telling you that it's a far superior bike. It's lighter, stiffer, faster. I mean, come on, man. Like, sorry to tell you that, but Harley's not going to be going backwards.
Yeah. Well, but it is. Everyone's conspiracy theorists. They're like, man, you're just getting paid. You're getting paid to say that, blah blah blah. And it's like,
right?
Why? You wouldn't have your own thing if you were getting paid. You'd be working for Harley corporate marketing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely it. And
yeah.
I mean, all these same people are like, hey man, I just bought a lowrider S. Best bike I've ever ridden. I'm gonna, my Dyna's for sale now.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, or baggers, hey, I sold my FXRT and I bought a brand new bagger and it's for sale now. And
yeah,
I can't tell you how many times, and it's because like it's same thing happened, and I mean, you've had a lot of bikes, so like same thing happened, and it's like straight up, hey man, I have a chopper forever, dude, the tan head, shovel head, yada yada yada, and they're like, hey man, hey Jeff, what's up with these FXRs? And I'm like, hey man, how many people were dyed-in-the-wool chopper guys, and then now they were dyed-in-the-wool FXR guys, and now they're like, hey man, I just bought a bagger. I mean, it's the progression. Like, you're getting older, you want more comfortable, you want to be able to put stuff on your bike, and the way it is.
And I've never been a bagger guy, but I understand their place. Like, if I was driving across country, a bagger makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The trend I don't understand, and I will never get behind it, and I don't care. And I'm not trying to piss anyone off, because I know there's a ass for every seat and whatever. But the fucking big wheel bagger shit, I'm like, you're taking a bike that's a touring long distance bike and you're making it barely rideable. Like, what are you doing?
Agreed, man.
People get pissed. I'm like, I'm not disrespecting anyone's bike. I don't get that trend. And I'm into choppers, so I'm into dangerous and wonky and weird shit. Like, you know what I mean?
But you're not going to put a brand new Milwaukee 8 motor in a fucking chopper, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can, but it's a pain in the dick, and you don't want to do it. But like, so I mean, I understand. And that big wheel thing, luckily it's coming back around. And performance baggers, whatever they are, we can talk for 2 hours on what the hell performance bagger is, and why. But more people are building those now, and then something that works, and people always ask me, what the hell is a performance Harley, because we've really been pushing that, and Hot Bike really broke that, in 2003, 2004, like what they were. And I'm not saying we're the first people to do it or the first people to have, lighter, faster bikes made out of baggers and top tails, and Dynas, but like, it's not a trend anymore.
Sure.
There's so many old lean sports getting sold in the United States, and so many, crazy bars and lightweight stuff and big brakes, and it's the norm now, and it's cool. And I mean, I'm glad to be a part of it, instead of being a part of a guy that was a fat rear tire or a big rear wheel.
There's still some of them out there. Except the funny thing now is you see those bikes for like $3-4 grand when they were like $60,000 brand new, like in the in 2004 or whatever. But the crazy thing, and what I didn't understand, and I'm not in that world. I'm not in that business, that level of business world. But like, it was just so amazing to me that Harley killed the Dyna, like kind of right at the height of Dyna's popularity. It was just.
Well, I think that it was a strange thing, because that bike only sold on the coast, pretty much.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Like, everybody was buying soft tails even back then. It was a soft tail and Sportster world for Harley during the mid 2000s coming into 2018. So I mean, they knew better, but Harley never shares numbers. It's like pulling teeth getting anything out of them. So they went about the whole situation incorrectly. I mean, bottom line, like, they shouldn't have called this bike the soft tail. They should have called it Platform X or Platform something, because it's
something
not a soft
new.
tail. It's not a pull shop. And it wasn't a Dyna. And I mean, they just and then they grouped in a bunch of Dyna names, like the Lowrider and the Fat or the Street Bob and things like that. And it really, I think in the boardroom at the MoCo, it was a really smart thing for those guys to do. But like, in all honesty, it was kind of crazy that they did it all in one fell swoop. Like, it sounded great, I'm sure, in the boardroom. Hey, we'll just roll all this into one thing, and that's fine. But that's not the way it should have worked at all. So I mean, in all honesty, that was kind of a super fuck up by Harley Davidson for sure. But I mean, there's no good way to kill a model. There's no good way to kill off a brand. I mean, look what they did with what they did with Eric Buell and the Buells and all the other stuff. So I mean, all in all, so I think that's pretty much it.
In your travels, have you been able to ride one of the live wires?
Oh yeah, I've ridden. I think when the live wire was a prototype, I probably rode it more than any other person. To tell you the truth,
yeah.
I got to ride it in New York City, and then I knew the guy that was driving the test ride truck around to all the events, and I would get to the events a couple days early, and I would bug him to let me ride the live wires before everybody could ride them that day. Like at Daytona, I rode them every morning. Right?
Yeah.
It was super fun, and it's just a weird bike, and I like it a lot. That's what's weird. A lot of people, they ask me, what did you think about the old one? What do you think about the new one? I mean, it's for me, there's certain motorcycles like a Bagger and like a Dyna, where it takes an experienced rider to ride one. But that's not going to get any more people on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Easy to. I've been telling Harley they need to make an automatic transmission Sportster for like 10 years. And a lot of people are like, that sounds like a really smart idea. And the other people are like, oh my God, if you can't shift the bike, then you shouldn't have one, even if it's Sportster. But the live wire, it's automatic. You just turn the throttle and hit the brakes and you're good, And one thing about it is I did some work for Razor, a little scooter company, and they have electric bikes and motorcycles now. And I coined a term over there when I was freelancing for them that the plug-in bikes are single mom friendly. And Livewire is totally single mom friendly. You plug it in and you pull it out. Like, you don't have to mix fuel and gas and oil. You don't have to do this, that, or the other. Like, the bottom line being is you plug it in at night and you unplug it and you ride the thing. And, I think, future models, they'll be cheaper. I'm not really stoked that the Livewire is $30,000 or $35,000. And then it gets, when you're on the throttle, it gets like 60 miles.
Yeah.
Range. But I mean, most people don't live 60 miles from their job. When I first rode the thing in New York City, it was perfect for that because the bike wasn't heating up on your inner thighs. You weren't frying sitting there at lights. You just turn the throttle and go. And I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a moped, but I mean, there's for Harley to put their name on that, I thought it was really cool, and I hope them all the success in the world with it, but that's gonna be a tough battle for them, especially in the current climate of other plug-in bikes.
Sure.
Cars,
But what I was always wondering is, does it have like instant acceleration? Like how, like when people say, hey, you ever ride a Tesla like car and it's like just fucking banana, like fucking, instant acceleration. All I can imagine is all these people like smashing into walls and shit because they don't know and they grab it like a gas throttle or something,
Well, there's a governor on it.
Okay.
So you don't get all the power. Well, that's not a governor on the Livewire, so you don't get all the power at once.
Okay.
There's a couple drag bikes, Livewire drag bikes out there right now, and they've I don't know if it's Harley has or somebody aftermarket. They've learned to figure out how to take that off.
Yeah.
And they're fast as shit.
Well, there's Performance Harley for the future right there, right? It's fucking with governors on electric bikes.
There's gonna be a time when there's no internal combustion vehicles. I hope it's not in my lifetime, but I mean, it's with all the mandates coming, and it's European. They're pushing it hard, like they did like Vespas and Lambrettas back then. Like you couldn't have a 2-stroke one anymore. It's all 4-stroke bikes there. And you couldn't have premix anything else, and then that's why we had all the bitchin' ones, in the 90s here. But they mandated that in Asia too. Like you can't have that because they're such gross polluters, and it's coming down for internal combustion motorcycles and cars too, man.
Well, when internal combustion engines are outlawed, only outlaws will have them. It's like I ain't giving my shit up, that's for sure.
No, me neither, man. And like I said, it's probably ain't gonna happen in our lives.
No.
It's coming.
No, and obviously the writing is on the wall. Like we're in the infancy of that type of shit right now. But shit's just gonna progress more and more, and then like you can slowly see things. How where the water's moving.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But man, yeah. So I think you kind of gave a rough overview. But what was the impetus for you to get V Twin Visionary going, and what was the thing behind it? I know you do a lot of product testing and set up at events and do that type of stuff. But what was kind of like the whole kind of plan for what V Twin Visionary was going to encompass, and what are you doing with it in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I've really over the past couple of years let the brand kind of evolve by itself, and to be where people are like, well, this dude I know started this company, to being like, when I go to an event and I see people wearing the stuff and I don't know them anymore, I'm like, oh shit. Like, everybody I knew for the first year that was wearing anything V Twin Visionary or commenting on anything we did on the website or on social media, I knew personally. And then over the past year and a half, it's been people I don't know and merch. And, we did that Dixon flannel collab, and that thing was crazy at Sturgis. We had a line a mile long. We sold 1,500 of them in 2 days. And
that's crazy.
Like the brand is a mainstay for people that are into knowing about the latest cutting edge, mostly American made, cottage industry kind of stuff, which is what that was always my focus at the other magazines too. Like give cottage industry American made stuff the first biggest shake of all.
Yeah. And
then everything else after that kind of, just be like, everything else is fine. I don't discriminate as far as, what side of the shore of the world your products are made on, but like, it's my job to feature, the little guy first who doesn't have a bunch of money to promote his products and doesn't have a bunch of, and I mean,
doesn't have a marketing department.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely. And so, I mean, that was really what I started doing, and it's really evolved into something that people check the website every day. Like the website numbers are up, and I kind of when Cyril Hughes passed away, I was on Cyril's site every day, like most people. And when he passed away, his family didn't really do anything with it. So I really decided at that point I was gonna also include motorcycle industry stuff within it too. Where it's not pricing or anything like that, but like new product from anybody.
Sure.
And the Hill Climb bike from Indian, we post that and this and that and the other. Like, so it's really like, I kind of call it a two-wheel centric information hub now. It kind of turned into that where it's more information. And then, we do like I said, our shows with Harley, which have been super successful. And, these rides across the country, which are sponsored. I'm not going to lie. Like we have exhaust sponsors and we bolt them on the bike and we ride it. And what I really like about that, and I didn't really think about it when I first started doing it, was we're testing these products in real life and in real time. Yeah. So you're going to know that day if the exhaust broke, in Mississippi. Or you're going to know that day if, the seat padding shit out or the handlebars were crooked or whatever else. So, I mean, it's really a cool way to test product. And, you have, a whole bunch of people doing it and watching it daily. So, I mean, these rides we did the COVID crossing ride, which was from Virginia to here or to California. And then we did one to Sturgis. And now we're going to do a California crossing ride where we go up the coast and then down the middle of it. And we're going to do that probably, I would say late November, early December. So there'll be a lot of rain and stuff up north. So it'll be fun, it'll be challenging. And I built a brand new bike for each one.
Yeah.
And it's just been really cool, being able to, and that really just came from not being able to do a lot of stuff during the COVID. I was getting bored sitting at home and like, well, let's do a bike ride. Well, how can we make it challenging? Well, how can we do this? Like, how can we include other brands? How can we include, you know, we have liquor brands involved and clothing brands that are non-endemic, you know, and like just kind of everything. And it's just been fun testing how brands, you know, testing how the brand can be and can, you know, the limits of what I can do and who, you know, and what I am, you know. Somebody asked me, somebody was interviewing me the other day for a liquor magazine, and they kind of asked, well, what is your role? What do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm part editor, part, you know, editor and presenter, and like part influencer. And that could have never been, you couldn't put all those things together before because it's kind of on both sides of you know, you're having your cake and eat it too. But in this day and age, it can be that way.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the thing is like, you know, you carve your own lane and then you make your own lane and then, you know, you dictate what's in there, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to go into a traditional corporate structure and kind of abide by what the rules are in that world.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of all the shit we do. It's just, you know, it's like punk rock business shit. You know what I mean? It's like, no, fuck you. This is what I'm going to do. You know, and if it works, it works. If
you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah, who cares, right? But yeah, man. So, you know, what's been some of your favorite shit that, I mean, as someone that's, you know, testing a lot of products and, you know, what's been some of your favorite shit to come out in the last year? You know, I know that can be an open question, but there's probably 2 or 3 things that have hit you really hard saying, man, this is a fucking cool thing. This is a must have, or, you know, this is, if, you know, I need to put this on like my personal bike type of shit.
Yeah. I think a lot of things, a big thing that's very affordable and that makes a big difference is LED lighting on new bikes.
Yeah, man.
You know, getting, you know, safety wise for you and being able to see and be seen, you know, and there's a ton of LED companies out there doing great stuff, all of them a little different.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing. And like I said, it's super affordable. You know, that leading edge, you know, 151 and 159 motor kit is monumental, you know, to be able to take a naturally aspirated engine and make it have the same numbers as say, you know, a turbo or a supercharger. That's a crazy.
Hello?
Fiber wheels.
Oh, you cut out for a second. The last thing I heard you say was being able to have the engine make the same numbers as something with a turbo.
Oh yeah,
and that's the last thing.
Oh yeah, leading edge. You know, the company that Danny Wilson runs is, you know, they do 151 and 159 inch motor kits for Milwaukee 8.
That's fucking bananas.
And I mean, yeah, and I mean, like I said, to be able to have a motor that is putting out forced induction numbers but be naturally aspirated, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then I mean, another thing, it's very expensive. Kind of the exact opposite of LED lights would be like a set of Brock's carbon fiber BST wheels.
Yep.
And I mean, you know, they weigh half to a third of what stock wheels weigh. And I mean, as you know, rotating mass is like 5 times the amount. So I mean, if you really want to lighten up your bike, that's the way. I mean, you're gonna drop a ton of weight on that. And I think those are 3 pretty crazy things. I mean, for me, you know, if you're not making your bike faster, ride better with good suspension, or stop better with bigger brakes, then I mean, you might as well not be doing anything to it.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. You know, it's insane. You know, like, you know, when Harley comes out and has like a 131 motor, you know, that still has like a factory warranty on it. And then you got the aftermarket guys doing, you know, 159 kits. I mean, I haven't ever played with one of those kits. Is there a lot of machining involved with that, or that's not just like a bolt on? It can't be, right?
No, they do a 125 and a 129. Okay. And I'll tell you right now, my 125 and my 2019 Softail, it does 138 horsepower and 147 foot-pounds of torque, and that's just with a 550 cam and a performance and a horsepower Inc. pipe and intake. Like, it still has a stock throttle body, it still has a stock injectors, stock pump and plate. So I mean, it's pretty crazy. You can get a lot of horsepower out of their drop-in kits. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at the 159 has over 200 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
almost 200 horsepower. And I mean, yeah, that's a whole bottom end rotating assembly. And I mean, that's pretty much, you're putting like Rolex parts in a Casio
Sure.
case with that.
Yeah, yeah. That's fucking bananas. Have you had the opportunity to fucking test ride one of those things?
Yeah, we actually just built one in conjunction between Visionary. We built a 2019 Road Glide Special with one, and we have all the carbon bodywork from Curtis Hoffman on it, and a big motor. And it's got a Brox aluminum swing arm, and we're going to get bigger brakes on it pretty soon, and carbon wheels. So it's going to be pretty much the ultimate rocket ship.
Yeah.
Danny's like a crazy numbers guy. I call him Rain Man. And we're working on like a skid pad test where it'll be we'll be able to take a bike to a racetrack and weigh it, and then do a dyno tune on it, and then we'll do skid pad braking, and then we'll figure out some sort of matrix that all these bikes fit in, and then we'll figure out which one's the baddest bike of all, whether it's the Softail that's stock with only motor, or this crazy bagger that we just built, or whoever wants to bring a bike out. We're working on this for next year, and it should be pretty exciting. Guys can bring their bikes out. We'll figure out where we can go after the COVID, of course, because you can't do shit right now as far as at racetracks or anything. So we're figuring that out as well. That'll be a lot of fun too. That combined with the dyno info. I mean, that's kind of what I really want to do, is inform and entertain my readers, fans, and followers and friends.
Sure, man. Absolutely, man. Yeah. No, and you're entertaining them, but it's also, it's a wealth of good information that's backed by data, which is
right.
It's not just hearsay. It's not some fucking dude on the internet saying, well, I did this to my bike and blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, well, show me the fucking numbers, man. And,
right. That's exactly it.
And, yeah,
we're backing it up with
science, research, development, and science.
That's right. Me and science in the same sentence is pretty fucking fun.
Yeah, who'd have thought? But it's like you just got to find the right thing that you're into, and then the science will come automatically, right?
Agreed.
You wouldn't go study science in school, but like when you have to pick it up because it's something you're interested in, it comes a lot easier, I think, than having to study some bullshit you don't care about.
Agreed.
Hey, one thing that I want to ask you about too, because I know you got an inside lane on a lot of these new bikes coming out. Have you gotten to ride one of the new Pan Americas?
No, I haven't, and I've been really, really wanting to. Like, I made a deal with a dealer in LA that I'll buy the first one that they have.
Yeah,
I said, put my name on it. I don't care. I'll just buy it because I think it's going to be. I haven't had like big BMW GSs or anything because I'm not the tallest guy in the world. But I've had, Kawasaki KLRs and bikes like that. So I'm super excited about the Panamera, and the thing just looks badass. So,
yeah, no, I'm excited. I get worried about it though, because I feel like something I read, like the price point is like, it's a little beyond even what like what the BMWs and stuff are. And it's like, man, I don't know. It seems like breaking into an area and with companies that have tried and true products, and then you're outpricing them, just seems like kind of a ballsy move.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's one of the reasons why that bike's not out yet. They're rethinking their whole product line.
Yeah,
altogether. They had this whole thing where they're going to have 100 different bikes in 10 years, or some other crazy number where they were fighting with Indian, and now both those companies are like, well, I think we're going to,
scale that back a little.
Yeah, and they discontinued a lot of bikes, coming into 2020. I was privy to some information, so I'm not going to tell people what models or whatever. But 2021, they're shaving down the number of bikes that they have coming.
Well, you know what? I mean, to me, that's not a bad thing. Like, as long as they're putting more research and development and making the bikes that are staying better, then hey, fuck it. Like, who needs 400 models? If 380 of them suck, just take those 20 that are the best ones and or not suck, but aren't as good, and just make the best 10 bikes or 5 bikes or whatever, you know. And
Well, I mean, as we know, like with Harley, dude, all that shit's parts bin bikes. Like they take a Sportster handlebar and put it on a fucking Softail, and they put an upside down fork of another bike on there, and oh wait, it's a new lowrider S. So it's like they're not reinventing the wheel. So like some of the bikes were just painted different colors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just,
and had 2 different things on there. Like, come on, man. Like
different pegs or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, or a different tank and fender. Oh, this one has a bob fender. This one has a long fender. This one, So it's very, they played that game long enough.
Yeah. No, and I'm sure that I'm sure they're not dumb, and they're going to take the ones that are doing the best and kind of keep those going and whatever. I hope they don't get rid. I heard, and this is I'm not asking you to divulge information, but I heard that potentially Sportster's been on the chopping block for a while, and I just feel like that'd be incredibly weird or bad move. Like, but
Well, I think that most of that was hearsay.
Okay.
And I think they had so many damn sports models. So I think they're shrinking that down. And then, they were hoping that this platform that is coming, that the Pan America is, and all the other ones, that is going to take over the Sportster lineup. Smaller motors, a little bit, lower to the ground and things like that. So we'll see. I don't see them getting rid of the Sportster anytime soon.
Yeah. And I'm not a Sportster guy. I'm too big for it. I look like a fucking, the proverbial, bear on a fucking football, fucking a football type thing if I'm on a Sportster. But I got to test ride them for custom bikes here and there. But I mean, it's such an important platform for riders, especially now with so many new riders, but whatever, that's a whole different conversation, and it's all, we don't, I don't need to go there. I really want to get into that. I really want to drive one of those Pan Americas, man, especially now because I live in the woods now. Like, I don't live in the city anymore.
Yeah, man, you're stoked.
Oh, dude, like I literally
exactly
live
what you want to be doing.
A couple miles from the entrance to the Freetown Forest, dude, and that's all I want to do is
shit.
Because I've been like trying to get I've been thinking about getting a KLR or some shit like that, but I'm like, let's see with this Pan America, but then that one seems like it keeps getting delayed, or like they just show pictures and it hasn't come.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen one out on the road.
Yeah.
I've never been invited to ride one, so I think you're probably correct. Like, I mean, Harley was in full shutdown for almost 6 months.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And then they fired a bunch of people because they had to, and trimming the fat of the brand.
Yeah.
And now I think they're kind of they got a new CEO, and I think they really they're being smart about their decisions now, which I think they really weren't. They were just trying to keep up with all what Indian was saying they were going to do. And I think now they're making smart, calculated choices to save the brand once again.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, man. And sometimes new leadership is what you need. Like, hopefully he whips it up, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, you put in a word for me, dude. Tell them if anyone needs a test ride one in the Northeast, man, I'm all over that shit.
No, I will, dude. I'll definitely tell them what's up.
Yeah, dude. But fucking, what else is going on? You know what? With your collaboration flannel with Danny over at Dixon, I always laugh. I'm like, who the fuck would have thought like the world's leading fucking flannel manufacturer would come out of fucking Phoenix, Arizona, man?
Isn't that funny, dude? I mean, people are like, oh my god, you can't even wear those things. Well, it actually gets a little chilly in the wintertime, so you can wear them.
Sure,
there's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is funny when you think about it, dude. For real.
And I know it, you know what it is though? It is the desert, and at night it can drop drastically out there, and
oh yeah.
And your blood does thin when you're out there, you know what I mean? When you're used to 80 to 100 degrees, when it gets down to 60,
Yep.
it feels like frigid. And whereas for us, we're still in t-shirts at 60,
Right, yeah. I mean, it's a whole other world here.
Yeah, man. So, dude, what else is coming up, or what else you got going on? What do we not hit on?
Well, we still have, a few of the performance bike shows that we do with Harley. We're going to have one in California and one in Arizona. We actually have one in Tennessee going on in October as well. We have our big V-Twin Visionary Tour in Tennessee, and that's kind of a continuation of the Hot Bike Tour. and what we did with that, because as soon as they stopped doing that, once they readjusted from the paper mags, and we kind of took it over, and we ended up doing it. We do it out of Harley Davidson dealership, Smoky Mountain in Maryville, Tennessee, and it's pretty much just, you know, 4 days of riding every day. There's a bike show, there's a build off, there's kind of everything going on. That dealership isn't like a normal dealership. They have a bar, restaurant, and concert venue on site.
Oh,
So
cool.
I mean, it's the perfect place. You can hang out, have fun, and I mean, if you know anything about that area of Tennessee, you know that's where the Tail of the Dragon is, and
Oh yeah.
Blue
Yeah.
Ridge Parkway. Like some of the best motorcycle riding on the planet is there. So we'll be there again this year. It's October 8th through the 11th, and we're just gonna hang out and have some fun, drink some beer, listen to some bands, ride a bunch of motorcycles.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hey, you know what I wanted to ask you about is someone involved in the industry. And you kind of alluded, we touched on this real briefly because when you was talking about Harley being shut down for 6 months, what a lot of people don't realize is that not just Harley, but a lot of parts manufacturers were shut down 3, 4, 5 months.
Yeah.
And, there was like almost an, but there was still a lot of stuff with like in like some of the major warehouses. So like parts were still available, but I'm starting to see now as a shop owner, a lot of shit being out of stock. Weird shit like cables or whatever, like
all the stuff that was made in Asia is super back ordered.
Yeah.
Whether it has been made and it's sitting in a container on their port, or it's sitting in a container in LA. Like,
Yeah.
I go to LA at least 1 week out of the month still. And where we used to live is a place called Hacienda Heights, and it's right up the 710 freeway from the Long Beach, LA port. And it's like a yard where the trucks go, and then they drop east west. I mean, they drop off north and east, shipping to a freight yard where they go on a train. And it's all containers. And during the COVID, dude, like there used to be, I would go and take photos, like if I did a bike shoot, and it was kind of, you'll see it's kind of industrial. There's some trains like on the website, but that yard got filled up so high. I would say 53-foot containers. I would say they were stacked 10 high and probably 100 deep in this yard.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were empty. They had full-time security and everything. So, I mean, there's a big glut of things that either are on this shore that haven't been through customs yet, or they're still in Asia or even on freighters stuck in the ocean someplace.
Yeah.
And that's where there's a lot of issues coming with that.
Yeah. And just as a heads up, that's what just as a public service to our motorcycle contingency here, man. If there's some shit you need and it's there now, you better fucking get it, because there's going to be some shortages for a while.
It's going to be, it'll be months. It's not going to be weeks, guys. It's going to be months of waiting. So
yeah.
Don't squab over a couple pennies if your local shop has it and you can't get it on Amazon. Like,
yeah,
you better buy it.
Absolutely. And and I'll say even more, like even American manufacturers were shut down for 3 or 4 months. So like, Magnum or cables that, that were made in New York or whatever, like, it might be a little while before those are back too, because, people are just getting back to work now, and not all manufacturing's up, not all of it's up to full speed. So it's
well, yeah, I mean, a lot of their have, even they will have vendor issues because their vendors have been shut down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever winds their cable and whoever does this or their housings or whoever else, like, there's, if you have one part missing, like there's a big slowdown of parts because ARP has been out of lots of sizes of bolts and nuts.
Yeah.
And as you know, everything that's quote unquote performance has an ARP fastener on it. So like, it's been crazy, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months with all that shit, man. Like I'm kind of dreading it a little bit as a shop guy, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be, what are we going to have to do to get some of these jobs done? What are the workarounds going to be, and that's going to.
Oh, agreed.
It's going to be interesting times coming up. So get prepared for that, motherfuckers. It's coming.
Agreed, man. You better fucking hold on tight.
Well, fuck yeah, man. Is there anything we didn't touch on, man? I thought it's been a pretty cool fucking
Man.
industry
I think
conversation.
we did a good time, dude.
Yeah.
Man. I love you, dude. And I love what you've done, dude. And being so, injecting your big personality into whatever you do, dude. It's just a cool thing. Like, I've known you for a while now, but before that, I didn't know you, but I knew who you were and what you did, and I've always been impressed with the person you are, dude. No bullshit.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Same here, dude. And we've been around a long time, and we stayed in the game, and it's good, man. Like, I see a lot of people that I saw around 10, 15 years ago. It makes me stoked when. Because we see a lot of changing of the guard, unfortunately, but it's cool when you see people that have been around a long time still fucking kicking it and still doing it,
Agreed, man.
That's when it's coming out of passion and love, and it's not a trend for everybody, because we see a lot of that shit come and go,
We've seen dudes come and go for real, dude, and a lot of dudes stick in it, though. So,
yeah,
it's cool.
Fuck yeah, for sure, dude. And, I can't wait. These are always better and funner in person, but, it's hard to travel right now, and, we're all over the place. But I'm out in Arizona at least once a year, man, so I definitely I'm
you better come to Phoenix and fucking say, hey, spend a couple nights at the house, man.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I definitely want to see the new setup, man. That collective sounds fucking badass, dude. And I can't wait to see that shit, man.
Man, it's getting there. So.
And then we'll have you come out to Tucson and we'll fucking roll around out there. It's some of the desert riding out there, man. As you know, I love desert riding, dude. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, me too, man.
I love feeling like I'm on fucking Mars or a different planet when I'm riding. You can just see as far as you can see.
It's some shit that we never, had growing up.
Yeah.
So I still get fucking chills when I hit the highway out of town. Even if it's 115.
yeah. It doesn't even matter at that point. And the crazy thing is, if you haven't ridden in the desert, especially like in Arizona, you'll come down a mountain or something and you come out, and then all of a sudden you're on this straightaway and you can just see as far as you can fucking see. So if there's you could see a speed trap 20 miles ahead of you, so you can just fucking hammer like with reckless abandon, because there's not even anyone else on the road, and there's nothing like that shit, man.
Nope.
And that's when you need that one.
Get your ass out here.
Yeah, that's when you need that 159 kit, man, to really fuck around.
Yeah, it was made here, dude, for that same reason.
Absolutely. And I fucking agree with you 100% on, upgrading to LED lighting. I even do it on choppers and shit now, man, because even today, man. Dude, when I was leaving, I stopped my day off and I'm at Chopperhead, and then I go to the tattoo shop, and then, I came back here to record this, and just coming back, dude, I almost hit like 3 deer, dude, just jumping out in front, and, it's fucking bananas, man. Like,
That's crazy,
it's fucking crazy, so, and then, I know, like, Tommy over at Moons and stuff, like, they live in those fucking crazy canyons. You got to be able to see in those motherfucking places, man. There's no 200-foot drops with no fucking guardrails and shit, whatever, dude. You're gonna fucking die if you can't see.
Agreed, dude.
So, and you can get LED lighting pretty affordably now. So, upgrade that bike, man, and do some safe shit so you can get more gnarly on it,
Exactly, dude. Agreed.
Right. Well, tell everyone how they can follow you and see what's going on. Give some websites and social media out, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely, it's v2visionary.com and at v2visionary and at Jeff G. Holt. And I'm at all those all day long, plugging away.
Do you guys have anything?
Posting.
You guys have anything for the collective, or is it just all your individual sites?
The collective is at the collective, and that's kind of everybody's dump for whatever they're doing daily as far as machining, or I think they just put some stuff on a Scorpion clutch today, or they just did a badass. They did a leading edge 131 kit, which is actually a combination of S&S and leading edge on a CVO bagger. I think they just posted that. They're crazy. They're nuts.
What do you like? I personally really like those Scorpion clutches. What do you think? Is there something better?
I think if you're going to do like a whole clutch with that Scorpion's really nice. I really like Recluse a lot.
Okay.
If you're going to use the stock basket and all that.
Yep.
Like that's a really good cheap alternative that works. If you got something under 130 horse, then I think that's a really good deal. And it's just straight drop in. You just replace the plate.
Yeah. So it's just a clutch pack, just the plates itself.
Yep.
Cool. Well, fuck yeah, man. Well, I will send some shit your way. Fucking let me sign off here. Thank you again for taking some time to talk to me today, and we'll talk soon. Let me just shut this shit off.